feeling cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright, echoes in the dead of night. No retreat, no looking back on this heart attack.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? It has been a very busy day today in the courts here in Victoria. This morning, we had Gregory Lynn find out what happened with his appeal. Decision was handed down, and I'm going to tell you more about it. We also had the trial for Jody Hill is now coming to an end. Today, the judge got through her charge, so that is Justice Dixon. She is basically done, and it seems like tomorrow we're going to go through just those couple of stages before they send the jury out. So jury should deliberate tomorrow. So we should start getting a look at how long this jury might go for in the Jody Hill trial. And I don't know, is it going to be a day? Is it going to be a week? We'll see. But they don't have a ton of time. Next Friday, the court closes for the holiday period. So we'll have to wait and see. But today, the big one was definitely the appeal from Gregory Lynn, and the finding or the judgment was handed down. And he appealed on 4 different grounds. And I have the document in front of me, and we are going to have a look through it. And I'm going to explain to you why he was able to get this appeal granted. Now, he's won that appeal. He will go for a new trial on the murder charge for Carol Clay. So, Carol Clay, in the trial that happened last year, he was found guilty of her murder. He was acquitted of Russell Hill's murder. So it was a split verdict back then. He then went and appealed, and he appealed the sentence and the conviction. He has won that appeal on the conviction. His conviction has now been quashed, basically overturned, and he is being sent for retrial at some time in the future. When is that? Could be a year from now, could be a year and a half from now, leading to it's a possibility he may get out of jail. Oh, by the way, that's very interesting. Sorry, some breaking news. I have actually known this information for quite a while, and now I can tell it to you. This is very exciting. This information that's right here, Tom Silvagni. This guy is the guy who was he was found guilty last week in the court for R-wording a girl who was at his home. At his home, he had snuck into the room and pretended to be his friend, and did some sexual while he was trying to pretend to be this friend of his who had consensual sex with the girl earlier in the night, and then he snuck in when the friend went home and pretended to be him so he could have a go with the girl too. The girl figured it out, started yelling at him, and it all went from there. But he went to trial a little while ago, and he was found guilty last week. He's going to be sentenced quite shortly, and this name was actually under a suppression order, and no one publicly had been able to report on the name. So it's Tom Silvagni. If you don't know who that is, his dad was a AFL player. Ping doesn't know AFL very well, but I know his dad was an AFL player. His brother is an AFL player for the St Kilda Saints. Not too far from where I live, actually, the Saints down here. And his mum is Joe. And I remember his mum from the 90s. I'm pretty sure she used to go by the name Joe Bailey. Am I right? Joe Bailey. Or am I wrong? I'm probably wrong. Ping's wrong about all sorts of things. No, it is right. Sorry. Wait, yeah, Bailey. So yeah, her last name used to be Bailey. She's now Silvagni. That's the wife of uh they're like a celebrity couple. The dad who used to play AFL and mum Joe Bailey, aka now Joe Silvagni. So pretty famous couple. The dad being a pretty good AFL player, mum being on Sailor's Century. She was on a bunch of different things when I was growing up when I was a kid. What was she on? I don't know what she was on. She was uh, Sailor's Century, bunch of other things. She was on all sorts of TV when I was a kid. So it is their son. Their son Tom is the famous person who was convicted last week of 2 counts of R word in the Victorian County Court last Friday. Now, rumors had been spreading all around Melbourne for like a week. This name wasn't as secret as you would be led to believe. It was out there in the public. People knew who it was, and people like me were just unable to report it. If we reported it, we would have broke the suppression order, and then we could have been hauled before the court. So, yeah, it's just one of those things. So it really doesn't matter that his name is now on a newspaper. If you wanted to know his name, it was available. People were posting about it. The victim in this particular case, the young female, she also s- uh, also sort of self-reported herself. She made a TikTok last week after the conviction and basically sort of outed herself as the victim in this particular case. So, yeah, there you go. This is breaking news. Tom Silvagni is the guy that was convicted last week. No longer a secret name. You can know it, everyone can know it. Big problem for this family being that mom and dad are such a famous couple and his brother being a AFL player currently for St Kilda. This will be a big story going forward. But yeah, he um he most likely will be going to, well, he's on remand right now and waiting for sentencing. He will serve a period of time in jail. Pretty sure the judge last week indicated that the only avenue for sentencing that they had for him was jail. So he will be going to jail at some point, and I mean he'll be going for sentencing at some point. Here's a photo of him. There you go. There you go. Outside the county court last week. I'm guessing is that his mum? Yep, that's his mum, Joe, and that's his barrister there. So yeah, breaking news out of Melbourne. Tom Silvagni is now known as a R-wordist. He is now known as that. Family's name tarnished, really tarnished after, you know, him and his mum and dad both, I mean, mostly his mum and dad and his brother, living such a storied history between the three of them in Melbourne. Now this puts a really dark shadow over that family, unfortunately. So yeah, breaking news on that one. Tom Silvagni is the secret high-profile guy that they were talking about. So there you go. No longer a secret in Melbourne. All right. I want to talk not about this. I want to talk about Gregory Lynn. I want to talk about Mr. Gregory Lynn, and I want to just go here. Did you guys know I have some actual secret information from the court? Secret. Super secret. No one's ever heard this information before. Do you want to know it? All right, I'll let you know. Did you know Greg Lynn used to be a Jetstar pilot? Did you know that? Did you know that? That is top secret. No one's ever heard this before. I'm going to mention it to you, and I think it's going to, it's like an earthquake of, information. I mean, I hope you are ready for that to learn about his career as a Jetstar pilot. All right. Yeah, I know, right? It's shocking news. Jetstar pilot. I mean, never heard of such a thing before. All right, I'm going to take you out to our friends at Channel 9 very briefly. I just want to play this small update from this morning if I can. Yep, here we go. And then I'm going to read some of the court findings for you.
Let's begin with that breaking news in Victoria, where former Jetstar pilot Greg Lynn has won an appeal to have his conviction for the murder of Carol Clay thrown out. Amber Johnston joins us now live from the Victorian Court of Appeal. So, Amber, will this ruling mean that the accused killer will now face a retrial?
Deb, that is exactly what it means. There have been so many twists and turns in this case, and what we've just learnt today is that the story is far from over yet. It was really difficult to watch Carol Clay's daughter Emma in court today, as she was told that her and her family will have to do this all over again. It was 3 appeal judges who handed down their decision just after 9 o'clock this morning. They found there were a number of issues in the course of the trial that gave rise to a substantial miscarriage of justice. So they ruled that the only way forward now is to give Greg Lynn a retrial, and that is something he deserves. When we talk about some of the...
Yeah, so you heard it there. He got a retrial, and the reasons for it are basically the I'll tell it to you in simple terms, and then I'll tell you the technical details about it. He during the trial, so we all know you have two sides, right? You have the defense, you have the prosecution. They have their own rules and laws that they have to follow throughout a trial, and the prosecution broke those rules during the trial several times. I'm talking not even several, more like almost 20 times. And they disregarded normal court procedure, like normal things you have to do within a trial, rules to trials, things like if you say something and you bring an allegation towards I will give you just a example. You have a trial, say there's a woman on trial, and you go, well, she stole from the shop and took a drink, and then she tried to hide it in her bag. You can't just say that in court, like in your closing statement. You have to put those allegations to the defendant and give them a right of reply. That's just one of them. That's just one of the things that went wrong in this particular trial. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that. My cat just puked everywhere. Bloody cat. She's doing it again. Hairball, apparently. So that's sort of one of them. Like if you put an allegation and you want to rely on it as a part of your closing statement or a part of your sort of case against the person, then you have to put these allegations towards the defendant and at least give them an opportunity to answer for them. And that is just one of several things that during the trial for Mr. Lynn, there was just a bunch of different things like that where they just didn't follow sort of the fairness in court. So fairness in court, and they consider this a miscarriage of justice on Gregory Lynn's part. So they're saying that it was an unfair trial, and the trial didn't give him opportunity to basically have a fair trial, and they're saying it's so far gone and they're so far down the rabbit hole on this one that the only way to remedy what they call remedy the situation is to go back to the beginning. Go back to the beginning and start again because there's no fair way to remedy it for Gregory Lynn. It's not like they can give him an apology. It's not like they can just sort of use some sort of legal maneuver to make it right. It's not possible because it's so ingrained in that trial and the outcome that it's basically ruined that trial. So they have to go back to the very beginning and start again. And I'll bring you one of them here. In their summary today, the appeal panel said, in the closing address to the jury, the prosecution made a number of submissions challenging the credibility of the evidence given by Mr. Lynn and one other witness without ever putting those matters to them. This occurred over repeated objections by defense counsel, and despite warnings from the trial judge. In doing so, counsel breached a rule of fairness known as the rule in Brown v. Dunn. The matters the subject of those breaches, including Mr. Lynn's post defense conduct and his version of events surrounding the shooting of Mrs. Clay, were important to the case against Mr. Lynn, and he should have been given the opportunity to respond to them. So that was just one of the things that they're saying here. The other central issue was in the closing address, prosecution counsel unfairly attacked the reliability and credibility of one of the people, one of the witnesses at the trial. And they're saying that this was part of like giving the jury, so you can like invite the jury to look at something a certain way. They're saying that this was unfair to Mr. Lynn, and they're saying that this represented a significant departure from the obligations of fairness owed by a prosecutor to the accused. So again, not following like those norms within a courtroom and a trial, and again, what they consider unfairness to Mr. Lynn. And they said here, the court concluded that these breaches of evidentiary and procedural rules were sufficiently frequent and serious to occasion a substantial miscarriage of justice, in that their combined effect could have affected the outcome of the trial. The unfairness was unlikely to have been mitigated by the strong judicial directions that were given by the trial judge. So they're saying that even with the judge in their directions to the jury at the end, so when the judge or justice gives directions at the end to the jury, they note things that may have happened throughout the trial, and they'll say, when this happened, you can only let or deal with this piece of information in this way. You can't find this person guilty based on how this occurred during the trial, something like that. There's several different ways they can word it. And they are saying here that even though they tried to remedy some of these things in the directions to the jury, there was just so many, they were so significant that there was no way that just a few words in a charge to the jury could overcome the mistakes, basically the mistakes. And they're saying this is it's a miscarriage of justice, as much as that hurts, because you think of how far back we go with Gregory Lynn. It's years and years now, and you think about the victim's family and Carol Clay, their families, what they've been through. Uh, One, having their loved ones missing for a large period of time, not knowing what happened to them. They set off to go camping, never was seen again for 18 months or whatever it was. And then to come find out that this guy is being accused of it. Not only that, they find out how they died, which was traumatic. A death of someone in type of way is traumatic. Then you think about the things that we learned during this trial, where he is accused of, at least not now, it's been flipped. So I'll say he is accused of killing Carol Clay by shooting her. After all that happens and the deaths occur to Russell Hill and Carol Clay, he wraps their bodies up, puts them in a trailer, drives them hours away, hides them in an area where he thinks no one will find them, drives away, comes back many months later, burns their bodies, and pulverizes them into tiny fragments of bone. I think I saw a number in my documents here. Something like over 2,100 documents were found when they excavated the site of where the bodies were located. I mean, and then that's not it. We then have to wait for a trial. We have to go through all the pre-trial. That takes a long time, 8, 9 months. That's very detailed. They go through from top to bottom. And then if you're like, oh, we're here, we're at the trial. We're going to get done. We're going to finish this. We're going to find out what happened to our loved ones. And you get a verdict. You go, okay, well, look, it wasn't the verdict we were hoping for. And it's something. And at least we can say we got some sort of justice for Carol Clay. A few months after that, you get an appeal. And now that appeal has been ruled on, and the trial basically poof turns into a puff of smoke, and we have to go all over again somewhere between 9 to 18 months from now. Somewhere from 9 months to about a year and a half from now could be how long we have to wait to go back to trial for the charge against Gregory Lynn in the death of Carol Clay. So this family, I think by the end of it, it might be. Hold on, Russell. What year was it? See, even I can't remember. So 2020 is when they went missing. In 2020, it's the end of 2025 right now. Could be another year to 18 months from now, right? That could be 2027. They could almost have to have wait 7 years for any sort of finality here. And even then, it may not be the end. 7 years by the. That's a long time to have to go through the court system, go through all these pre-trial hearings, and go to trial for a number of weeks, and then um, I feel so sorry for the family. I really do. It must be harrowing for them to have to think, oh my God, we have to go do that all over again. But that is exactly what we're going to do. That is exactly what's going to happen. And as of right now, this guy, Gregory Lynn, has a presumption of innocence. He's not convicted of anything. He wasn't convicted for Russell Hill's death. This one that he was convicted on has now been overturned. So now we have to give him the presumption of innocence once again until. So yeah, it's disappointing because I would say when this trial was ongoing at the time, there was a lot of commentary about how many problems that trial had. It wasn't a secret that the trial itself, especially from the prosecution, had a number of issues. I think it had been commented on by various people, from court watchers to people within the media and stuff like that. That this trial it just had so many holes and mistakes and things that went wrong and how things weren't done properly. And it almost felt like when I heard about the appeal from Gregory Lynn, I felt he's going to get it. I think I even told you a couple of weeks ago when the first hearing for the appeal happened. I was like, I think he will get it. And he did, because it was so uh, it was so obvious that there was a problem with that particular trial. So, as much as it's not very nice, it's just sometimes we have to do this to make sure that justice is done properly, and this is one of those occasions. Rachel said, "I just wish they would have done things correctly. I remember you saying things seemed off." Yeah, definitely during the trial, there was just so many problems. Gail said you did, and it pissed me off. Just was really obvious that this wasn't like a Hail Mary appeal. This wasn't one of those ones where you go, they're not going to get that appeal. what are they even appealing on? Like, this is like the thinnest appeal I've ever seen. This one, you went, there's a real chance here that this could happen because of all the things we saw at the trial. So, yeah, it's just one of those things, and we will go back and do it all over again. So we will see what happens. And hey, Chipmunk, now so many know about the case too, so that could play into more issues. Yeah, it would be interesting. I wonder if they won't do a jury trial. I wonder if it'll be a judge only, like justice only jury jury trial. I wonder if it'll be like what they call a judge only trial, where they'll just have a justice of someone and they will just do the findings at the end. That does happen sometimes in a retrial, that they won't actually bring in a jury, but I've also seen them bring in a jury again for like a second and sometimes a third. So, yeah, bench trial, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. Because it may be hard to find a jury. It may be. I mean, look at the saturation that Gregory Lynn's case has had, especially in Melbourne, where I live, and especially in Victoria and the wider Australia. A lot of people know about this particular case. It was on A Current Affair. It was on Spotlight. They had documentaries made about it. There was a number of appeals that happened. So it's not a case that no one knows about. It's quite a famous one. Betsy said, dumb question. What was the reason he got the appeal? I think we told you. I think we told you. I don't think it's a dumb question, but the appeal was basically that I think the easiest way I can tell it to you is he had 4 grounds on his appeal. They found that grounds 1 and 2 contended that he had suffered a substantial miscarriage of justice from the way in which the prosecution conducted the trial. So it was like certain rules and certain ways things are done at trials. It's got to do with like fairness, and I think the example I gave was, if you have a allegation, you can't just say it and be like, that is a fact. Like I gave the example, if someone stole a drink from a supermarket and then put it in their backpack or pocket and stole the drink, and you're like, that woman, she went in there and stole a drink and then put it in her pocket, and you just say it in court and you're just like saying as if it's a fact, and you don't give them a chance to give their version of event. Like, they might go, well, no, I paid for it, you guys just didn't catch that. It's not circumstantial as such. It's that you've got to be able to give the defendant a chance to reply and give their version a defense. They've got to be able to they've got to be able to defend themselves against what you are saying. So it is yeah, it is basically prosecutory misconduct, basically. That is exactly what it is. You're not following the sort of fairness and procedures within the court that it would allow a fair trial. And they're saying here, even during the trial, defense objected multiple times, and there were warnings from the trial judge even during the trial around these issues. So, yeah, it seems like it was so bad that even in this appeal, they were saying like, there's nothing we can do to remedy it here. Like, there's nothing we can do to give that fairness back right now. And the only thing we can do is start again. We can go back to the beginning. Rachel said, do we know if they were inexperienced prosecutors? I don't believe so. I believe the prosecutor for the Gregory Lynn trial was quite experienced. Hold on. Yeah, who was it? I can't remember who it was. It was Crown Prosecutor Daniel Porcedo. I'm pretty sure he's pretty experienced. Let me see. Crown prosecutors. So there's Nanette Rogers. We know her. She did Erin Patterson. Where is the guy we're looking for? This is Kadeshi, Nadia Kadeshi. She's doing the Jody Hill trial. So Nadia Kadeshi is doing the Jody Hill trial that I have been watching. So here's Crown Prosecutor Daniel Pulsetto. This is him here. So I would say pretty experienced. They've taken his email down. Like there's other ones that have emails, they've taken his down. But yeah, I would say to be a Crown prosecutor, you'd have to have a decent amount of experience. Now, he's not a senior Crown prosecutor, and he's not an SC either, like Nanette Rogers, or a KC. He's just a Crown prosecutor. I think that's the lowest level of like sort of their hierarchy. So there you go. They got a whole bunch of them. But yeah, I would say pretty experienced. Definitely probably done a bunch of trials. And yeah, so there you go. Rachel said everyone deserves a fair trial. Now this poor family has more pain. It's sort of like a double-edged sword here. Gregory Lynn deserves a fair trial, and if he is found guilty, the case should be concrete. If he's found not guilty, it should be concrete too. But yeah, you have to think of the family members who already put themselves through a monster trial. They also had to go through all that pre-trial hearings. See, that's the thing you guys don't see in Australia. Everyone just sees sort of like the trial happen, but there's like 9 months, 5 to 9 months before the trial. There's all these blocks of hearings that happen for the pre-trial, and a lot of times the families go to that. Sometimes it depends. You're not supposed if you're going to be a witness in the trial, then you can't watch the pre-trial. I think because you can't know the evidence or something. But they have to go through that to give their evidence or whatever. So there's a lot of stuff they have to go through before you even get to a trial, and now they have to do it all over again. So not, I mean, it's not great all around. It is a bad look on the Department of what is it, DPP, whatever it is, the Department of Public Prosecutions. It is a bad look. It's a bad look that there were so many problems that this is what it has amounted to. It has amounted to um, a waste of time. That's basically what it is. Wasted everyone's time. Woman of Steel said he was found not guilty of the man's right. Russell Hill, he was acquitted of that. And yes, so it was a split verdict at the trial. Found guilty of Carol Clay's murder. They found not guilty of Russell Hill. I fully believe if the jury manslaughter, they would have got it. I that's my opinion. It's just my opinion from watching the trial when it happened. I think if they'd brought on an alternate charge of manslaughter, I believe they probably would have got it for Russell Hill. And they probably would have got the murder charge for Carol Clay and then maybe a manslaughter charge for Russell Hill. But I remember at the time they declined to put forward an alternate charge near the end. So I don't know. Maybe I know one of the questions during the appeal was if a retrial is ordered, would you base it around manslaughter? So the appeal panel wanted to know whether that would be an option should it head to a retrial. So I don't know what the prosecution are going to do, but Gail said I think they're retrial for one, they should retrial for both. I don't think they're going to. I think from my reading of the court documents, it's only for the because he appealed for the conviction for murdering Carol Clay. They ordered a new trial for the conviction. So I have a feeling that it's only going to be for Carol Clay's murder charge. Woman of Steel said, "Do you have double jeopardy in Australia?" Yes, but no. I don't believe we actually have what's called double jeopardy, but we have something else that's very similar. Hold on. I believe it's called something else, but I can't remember what it's called. I just don't believe that's what we call it. I think it's an American name. Uh, what is it called? Um, I I'm not sure, but I know that there is like if you're yeah, so you can be tried again in Australia. So let's talk about let's say a case goes to trial and it's on very thin evidence. I can give you an example. William Terrell, you guys know William Terrell, the missing little boy. Say next year the mum is charged over the death of William Terrell, and it goes to trial, but the evidence is very thin, and she's found not guilty. Later on, a couple years later, they find William's body plus a bunch more evidence. They can actually take that to the court and then refile charges against her because it's like exceptional circumstances because there's new evidence. There's like there's something that's so groundbreaking that it would be wrong not to go again for another trial. So while we do have double jeopardy type laws here and procedures, there are ways around it should you have enough evidence to override it, but it needs a bit of work. So you'll take fun chats. Okay. Um yeah, so you just need some sort of like extraordinary new evidence. It has to be something that's compelling and fresh is the way they talk about it. Um Yeah, a person acquitted of a crime generally cannot be tried again for that same offense, but if fresh and compelling evidence emerges or an acquittal was tainted by corruption, allowing justice for severe cases despite the traditional rule, the core rule prevents multiple prosecutions for the same offense. Um, but recent laws create specific pathways for retrials balancing finality with correcting potential miscarriages of justice, particularly in murder cases. So there you go. Can be done. There's also ways there to stop prosecution from abusing a particular person for a particular crime as well. So it sort of tries to balance it. Like if you're acquitted, then you shouldn't be allowed to be retried if unless there's some sort of amazing evidence like video of the person committing the act or something or a telephone call or a body or something. So what? I'm not muted, am I? No, I'm not muted. Then it's not muted here, it's not muted here. I don't think I'm muted. Alright, now you guys are gonna have to tell me whether I'm muted or not. Yeah, I'm not muted. See, what are you talking about? Please, please. The crack pipe, put it down. It's okay. Yeah, alright. No more for you. No more crack for you, Gayla. No more. Put it down. It's okay. You are now imaginary. You're getting audio hallucinations now where you can't hear sound for some reason. Hey, RX girl, how are you? Good to see you. Who's messaging me? Oh, all right. There we go. You guys hear me? All right. All right. So there we go. Let's see. Betsy said, "Such an unimaginable nightmare." It is for the family for sure. It's you know what's really interesting? About like a week ago, there was a suppression order put or a non-dissemination order put in place for Gregory Lynn's first wife, and there was sort of like a non-publication order for anything to do with the wife. She died like many years ago. And as soon as that lapsed, so no one made an application to extend it, there was like 20 articles that popped up about his first wife, who, if you are to believe the coronial inquest, she died via S word. But there's a lot of people out there that believe that Gregory Lynn may have had something to do with it. Chipmunk said, I was on other streams tonight and others were saying it got muted. Solar flares? Could be solar flares, maybe. I reckon it's Trish stealing monkeys again. That's what I think. I think somehow the monkeys have got loose and they are muting things inside of YouTube. That's what I think. I reckon. Yeah, there's a comment here saying Gregory Lynn's appeal is rare for someone who admitted to the crime. And that is a good point. That Gregory Lynn wholeheartedly admitted to just about everything in his police video. He admitted to what he did, where he took the bodies, how he dealt with them, and he is almost a free man. He could be a free man in a couple of weeks and get out on bail until his next trial. So that is a good point. Um, Not that often you'll find someone that goes to trial, gets one acquittal, and then gets one conviction, goes to appeal, gets the appeal to be successful, flips the conviction, and then maybe can get out into the public again and have to wait for another trial in a couple of years. That is extraordinary. I think that doesn't happen that often. So yeah, because I mean, he said everything. He's like, yeah, I put him in my ute in the tray, put him in the whatever you call it, trailer, took him out, put him under a tree, waited 6 months, came back because of lockdowns during COVID, came back, set them on fire, crushed their bodies up and pulverized like their remains. Like he basically told them everything, and then just he may walk free for a period of time. That is pretty crazy, pretty crazy. All right, let's see if we can find anything else about what happened today that I haven't told you. Yeah, there was this. I'll show you this from the ABC. This came out a week ago after that suppression order lapsed. I'll show it to you.
Contains content that may be confronting.
A picture-perfect marriage with a man who would become one of Australia's most high-profile killers. Greg Lynn was jailed last year for murdering high country camper Carol Clay during an altercation that also claimed the life of her companion Russell Hill. But it was not his first run-in with police. Decades earlier, he repeatedly threatened to kill his first wife, Lisa.
He was going to cut out her eyes and cut off her ears and let the children hear the screams. She was scared to do almost anything. or even to go anywhere.
After months of telling her family about the death threats, Lisa Lynn was found dead in her Mount Macedon front yard in 1999 with their young sons inside the house. She had high levels of alcohol and antidepressants in her system.
It was just simple shock. Yeah, she seemed like she was doing well.
Her family has never accepted the police view at the time that her death was suicide.
No, definitely.
Yeah, so that is his first wife. I'll put a photo up again. There you go. That is back when they got married back a few decades ago. Now, the story is that she did have some mental health issues. How much were sort of unrelated to her marriage and Greg, I'm not sure. But at least some of them were because of the marriage and Greg. And they separated. Now, they had a few children. And she's, if you believe the story that comes out from the family and some other people, when they separated, she basically lived in fear that he was going to come back and kill her. That she installed new locks on her door and had people watch her home. Even when she was home, she had neighbors keep an eye on the outside of her house, and um, was very, very paranoid that he was going to come back and hurt her. And he actually gave a bunch of reasons for that paranoia, including going to the home, threatening her, a bunch of other incidents that happened. And at some point, she was unfortunately found dead on the outside of her home in the grass, deceased. And they look, the story is that it is S word, but there are some people that say that Gregory Lynn drove her to that decision. I can't tell you that I know or not. I can just tell you that that is what they say. RX girl, hope your family has a great holiday. Thank you, my friend. It is really good to see you again. I hope you're not working the third shift right now, and that's why you're awake. But thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Very, very kind of you. ABC, look out. Ribena says, "Are you able to give an email address for web sleuths?" Yeah, why? Why? What's wrong? Yeah. Yeah, you can contact them on this email that I put in the chat. That's their public facing email for Trish and stuff like that. So there you go. Hope that helps you. So there we go. I don't think we're ever going to see anything for the death of Lisa. I just think a lot of people like to talk about it to sort of show it side by side in relation to this particular trial for Russell Hill and Carol. I don't think we'll ever see charges or anything like that. I think people just use it as a way of what some people say is his personality and the type of person he is. Hey Robbie, how are you feeling, my friend? Oh, okay. All right. Well, email them, they'll tell you. They will tell you about it. I'm sure they will tell you about it. All right, let's have a look. By the way, Bonnie Blue, who I told you about the other day, she's being deported. So they are going to deport her from Bali, which I think was about the only logical thing that was going to happen. All right, hold on. Oh, that's not good. I'm just looking at some of my updates from America. This is not great. Why is there so many sex charges coming down the pipeline at the moment? What is going on with people? Apparently, a state trooper in Missouri has been charged with R word, and he pleaded not guilty. Allegedly SA'd a victim in her home in July, and he's a state trooper. Why? See, drunk with power, maybe drunk with power. Here, I'll play this with you.
A Missouri Highway Patrol trooper is on unpaid leave after being charged with second-degree rape. Ethan Ming, who serves with Troop G in Willow Springs, pled not guilty. Court documents reveal a woman claimed he sexually assaulted her at her home in West Plains back in July. We reached out to Troop G. They confirmed Ming was placed on unpaid leave yesterday. A Missouri Highway
All right, there we go. Hey, Ribena. Oh, do they do the typing for you? Is that what it is? And so you're unable to type and they type for you? That's pretty cool. Hello to Ribena's carer. It is nice work that you do out there to help people live their lives more fulfilling. It's very nice of you. It's God's work. It really is. Chipmunk said, sadly, there are too many, from pastors to mayors. A lot of people in power, apparently. Minge? Yeah, it's an unfortunate name, isn't it? Wait, is that the town name? Oh, no, that's his last name. Ethan Minge. I don't know. If he lived in the UK, I don't know how he would live down high school with that last name. But yeah, this is in Missouri, West Plains PD. They're saying charging records filed in Howell County accused Trooper Ethan Minge of essaying a woman at her West Plains home on July 27, 2025. They say the probable cause statement says the woman reported Minge came to her residence. That's a very odd sentence. And admitted to and attempted to initiate sex. She told investigators she repeatedly said no, but he allegedly persisted, pushed her onto her back, and had intercourse with her without her consent. Did he know this woman? Did he just rock up to some strange woman's home and do this? Did they know each other? I mean, not that that makes it any better, but how did he know a woman was there? I'm trying to figure this out, how he knew the girl. The following day, according to the affidavit, Minge texted the woman acknowledging she had told him no and apologized for what happened. The court said a $10,000 bail with several conditions for that bail. He has pleaded not guilty. They're saying he joined the Missouri State Highway Patrol in January of 2024 and was assigned to Troop G. The Highway Patrol gave a statement just saying they are aware of the arrest of a trooper following a criminal investigation, and he is currently on admin leave with no pay, effective December 9. As this involves an ongoing criminal case, we are currently unable to release further details specifically about this incident. So they are becoming like an ostrich and putting their head in the sand until it's all over, apparently. He was on a minge bin. I feel bad that we shouldn't be making jokes about a woman who just had an SA, even though his last name is UK slang for lady parts. Robina said the mind is willing, but the body is not able. Oh, that's I don't know if you're willing to tell us, Robina, but do you have yeah, I feel like that's probably too far, but I know people like that have like MS or ALS go through something similar to what you're going through, and my uncle has MS, and he's had several things like that, unfortunately. So not that I can relate to your situation, but I can tell you that I've seen it firsthand with my uncle. So I know what it's like to not be able to do what you'd like to do or what you know you used to be able to do, and I understand how frustrating that is. So Yeah, I hope you're able to at least do some things that you find enjoyment, like watching this channel. Snap Crackle Pop says we're seeing a rise of trafficking busts. We have seen a few recently, right? Chipmunk says I didn't know that was slang. It is definitely UK slang for lady parts. 100%. Minge means lady garden. All right. What else do we have on our updates thing? Too many SA stories today. What's going on? My list of updates is full of them. Oh, okay. This is a good update. Do you remember a couple of months ago, I reported a story out of New York, and it was about a mum who apparently had a son called Jacob Pritchett. Do you guys remember this story? I'll show you. If I show you a photo, you might remember it. And it was about a child who was nonverbal and autistic, but hadn't been seen in a long time. And the only thing they originally gave us was a sketch of the child. And I'll show you that sketch. Do you remember this story from New York? Well, according to my information here in my updates from this morning, there was here's a recreation. Here's a generation of the child that they're looking for, and there's the mom. We did get some CCTV at the time. The mum had been held in Rikers Island since October, but was released on Tuesday, even after not telling the police where her child is. And I'm going to try to get you a better update. So yeah, they let her out of Rikers Island, even though she has not told authorities where that kid is. And the child's been missing what they think might be months and months and months. So I am gonna try to see if we get an update from today. Hmm. Let's go to 12 News out of Brooklyn.
An 11-year-old boy who vanished in Brownsville this fall walked free today after a judge ruled in her favor. And News 12's Shakti Dennis was inside of the courtroom and has the details.
Jacqueline Pritchett is a free woman tonight. A judge ordered her released from Rikers Island after ruling that she was being held in violation of her Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. Pritchett was jailed back in October after an ACS worker reported 11-year-old Jacob missing. Police searched everywhere for Jacob, who is autistic, including a dumpster behind their apartment on Howard Avenue and a landfill upstate. Neighbors were stunned by her release.
It's actually puzzling to know that they let her out. Now what? I don't even believe it. I thought they would never let her out.
In family court, Pritchett has repeatedly refused to answer questions about where Jacob is. Each time the judge asked about Jacob's whereabouts, she pleaded the Fifth, which is her right if she believes her answers could incriminate her. Today, a Supreme Court judge said transcripts from those hearings show Pritchett was held at Rikers as a way to pressure her into talking. The judge ruled that this violated her constitutional right to remain silent. Back on Howard Avenue, her locks have been changed and eviction notices are posted on her door.
I don't think she's going to come back because everybody knows.
And tonight, Jill missing.
I don't want to think she did something harmful to her kid. I'm hoping that she probably just gave him to someone that she know will take care of him.
Yeah.
And not hurt him.
And in court today, Pritchett sat still pretty much the entire time. She didn't have much of a reaction on her face when the judge announced that she was being released. She is due back in family court on December 19th. In downtown Brooklyn, Shakti Dennis, News 12 Brooklyn.
All right. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that pause. My cat decided that she wanted to be here in my seat. Really strange story. It really is. The fact, like, how can that kid be missing? 11 years old. She's been in custody since October, and they have searched everything. They searched her home, they cut up things, they tore up carpet, like looking for blood or something like that. They're saying here, despite multiple family court hearings, Pritchett refused to answer questions about Jacob's whereabouts, repeatedly invoking her right against self incrimination. Her defense attorneys argued she was being jailed only to pressure her into speaking. It seems like a bit of a catch-22, right? How can you how can how can you do that? And it's almost like we need to know where the child is, and then she's complaining about being in prison, because if she's in prison, then she is only in there to talk about the kid. Well, yeah, sort of. That is the whole point of sending you to jail. So how, if she refuses to talk because it is self-incriminating, then how do we ever find the kid? How do we ever find her son, Jacob? That makes no sense. It's a strange quirk of your amendments, like your amendment rights. So it's a bit of a strange yeah, it's a bit of a strange sort of catch-22. They're saying here, police launched an extensive search for Jacob that included checking a dumpster behind the family's apartment on Howard Avenue, and even a landfill near Rochester, but found no trace of the boy. Pritchett told police she didn't have a son. Yeah, do you remember that? She was caught on camera basically telling police that she did not even have a child. And they're like, no, you do have a child. We have records of him. Yeah, it was really, really strange. Let's see if I can. I want to go back to when it happened, like 12 months, not 12 months ago, a couple of months ago. Let's see if I can find it from 12 months ago, Brooklyn. Maybe if I search the son, Jacob. Yeah, this was back in October when they were searching the landfill for him.
Well, this morning, the search for an 11-year-old boy from Brownsville is now stretching 300 miles upstate after police were seen searching a landfill near Rochester. News 12's Edric Robinson is near the boy's home this morning with what we're learning. Edric, we've been tracking this story closely. What can you tell us?
Well, Nadia, it's been about 2 weeks since 11-year-old Jacob Pritchett was reported missing. This morning, we're digging into what led investigators all the way upstate to that landfill. I do recall some neighbors here telling me that they wanted police to track down a trash bin located at the back of the building where they live because of an odor. Police didn't confirm that, but take a look at this video. This is video from Thursday. It shows police searching a landfill near Rochester as part of this case. Authorities say Pritchett, who is nonverbal and has autism, was first reported missing after a welfare check on September 25th. Police sources tell News 12 child welfare worked here and found no food, no clothing, and toys lined up but unused inside the apartment. The image now you're seeing on your screen, it shows a sketch of Jacob next to the image of his mother, who was inside the apartment when officials arrived. Police say his mother told them she didn't have a child, and that's when investigators knew something wasn't right. So far, investigators haven't said what led them to that landfill, only that Jacob is still missing. In Brownsville, Edric Robinson, News 12 Brooklyn.
All right. Yeah. Where is the boy's dad? I'm not sure. I've never seen him brought up in any of the reporting about a child, about the child's father. Yep. they've let her go. She's out of jail right now. Right. Yeah, she got released today. I'm just trying to find out. Yeah, I wonder about the father. They're saying here the Brooklyn woman jailed for 2 months for refusing to say what happened to her missing autistic son on Tuesday was ordered released by a judge who ruled she was being punished for exercising her rights. Well, I guess it is up to the PD to make the case. They're saying here Jacqueline must still show up to a family court next week to be questioned once again about her son, Jacob. They're saying here the mother who has mental health issues let police and an admin for child services caseworker into her Brownsville apartment on October 1 when they were checking on a tip about Jacob's well-being. But there has been no sign of Jacob, and Jacqueline said she is a virgin who has never had children and that she is Jesus Christ and that the toys in her home belong to her. Okay. Police believe harm has come to Jacob. They identified him as missing and asked for the public's help in finding him, releasing to the media a sketch of Jacob and then a computer rendering of him and a photo of his mother. They're saying after being taken to Brookdale Hospital for a psychiatric evaluation, the mother was jailed on Friday. The mother was jailed on a family court contempt warrant and has 8 times refused to answer questions about Jacob, invoking her Fifth Amendment right to avoid saying anything that would incriminate her. But on Tuesday, Supreme Court Justice Margaret Martin said she agreed with the contention that she was basically being held unlawfully because she's exercising her Fifth Amendment right. Pritchard said she was based on her good faith assertion that she has a right not to answer any questions, and they basically let her out. They've let her out of jail. She's free and has to turn up to children's court next week for more questioning that she will not answer. I don't know why they chose Rikers. Probably because it was the closest jail, most likely. Yeah, it's a bit of a messed up case, right? I agree. Hey, Sienna. How are you? Good to see you, my friend. Winter still said if she never had a kid, why wouldn't she speak? I don't know. I'm not sure. It's a little strange. And they're saying here when police originally searched her apartment, a canine cadaver dog reportedly detected human blood on a refrigerator in the apartment. That refrigerator was not plugged in, and that is when they took her originally into custody. But they have not been able to find any human remains of the child at all. So we'll see what happens with that. I will keep an eye on it. And then if we're going to stay in New York, I have another update in New York, and it's in Albany. And I want to see if I can get this update going. It's a very short update. Ah, did they find her? Hold on, let me try something. Okay, no, they're saying that she is missing. Sorry, I got one of those weird updates where they're like, she's missing, she's not missing, she is missing. There is a girl missing out of Albany, 15 years old, very young, and they need to track her down. So watch this little update.
Police asking for the public's help to find 15-year-old Natalia Oliver, currently missing right now. She was last seen December 3rd in the area of North Main Avenue and Kent Street in Albany. A picture there of her on your screen. Police believe she still may be in the local area. If you have any information, you're asked to call 911 immediately.
There you go. There you go. So they are looking for that child, 15 years old, very young, 15-year-old Natalia Oliver, last seen December 3rd around 11:03 p.m. at night, was seen in Albany near North Main Avenue and Kent Street. They're saying if you know any information about the child, contact 518-438-4000 or call 911 and report it. It's strange though. When I search her name, I see reports that she's been found, but then I can't find a confirming source for it. Let me look somewhere. It's really strange. I think she's been found. Because this was her page on National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and it is not coming up anymore. So I think she may have been found. So we can Ping's magic touch has continued. When I put up a missing child, they've been found. I think that's number 87 where that has happened to us, where we've tried to do a missing child and try to help spread the word, and then they've been found pretty close to when we've done the live show. Looks like I can't find a confirming source for it. Yeah, all right. I think she's been found. Yeah, I just the fact that her National Center for Missing and Exploited Children page has come down, I suspect that she has been located. I don't know why I can't find a confirmation for it, but sometimes with these children cases, they don't want any more publication about the child, so they just won't give a proper update. So there you go. But we'll keep an eye on it. But it may be that she has been located, which is good news. I'd rather have the kid located than to have to keep looking for her. All right. Let's see what else we've got on our update list for tonight. What else? We could go to Texas, because always fun things about true crime happen in Texas, apparently. We can head to the Bexar County Sheriff, maybe? That's not how we do this. I will find you a better thing for it. Hold on. That is the Bexar County thing, but yeah, let's go to Ken's 5.
Our top story at 6 tonight, a 2-year-old girl caught on a game camera wandering alone in the woods on the south side, only wearing a dress and no shoes. Now her mother and grandmother have been arrested and are facing charges. Ken's 5's Mike Jimenez has the latest.
Deputies say the little girl showed up on the game camera around 3 a.m. early Friday morning on the south side. And as temperatures dropped into the 40s, deputies say that created a potentially life-threatening situation for the little girl. It was a property owner who noticed the video around 6 a.m. and called the Bexar County Sheriff's Office to report what she had found on her game. That started a search for the little girl. Around 7:20 Friday morning, deputies say the child's mother, Haley Peoples, told them the 2-year-old had gotten out of the home earlier that morning. Peoples claims she found the toddler around 4:15 a.m., but did not call authorities for several hours, while deputies were actively searching for her daughter. Deputies say when they got to the 2-year-old's home, they found unsafe living conditions, including trash, soiled clothing, rotting food, rat droppings, and a heavy odor of urine. The toddler was also found soiled. EMS was called and requested a medical evaluation. Deputies say Peoples refused care and refused to change the child's clothes. Because of the hazardous conditions of the home, the refusal of medical care, and the severe risk to the child, deputies detained Peoples. During their investigation, deputies say the toddler's grandmother, Rebecca Kelly, returned to the home but left after they asked her to wait for a supervisor. Deputies learned Kelly had gone to her grandchildren's school, Harmony Elementary, where she tried to remove 3 other siblings from class before 9 a.m. School staff reported Kelly claimed Child Protective Services was coming and told the children not to talk about what happened, calling it, quote, a private family matter, unquote. Deputies say Kelly was detained at the school. All 4 children, who are all under 8 years old, were taken.
I mean, I think you screwed up if your child is caught on a game camera at like 3 a.m. in the morning. That is, imagine what could have happened to that kid. Coyote could have got her, could have been eaten by any type of animal. Cougar, I know cougars live in Texas. I mean, tornado, child PDF file person, all sorts of things. But not only that, no wonder the child ran away from home. Look at the look at the living conditions that she was living in. The little kid, even that young, knew that the home it was living in was unsafe and was like, I'm getting out of here. That's crazy that they know even that young when something is not good for them. I hope her life improves from now on, and that as dangerous as it was, she may have changed the life for her and her siblings by running away like this and being caught on a game camera. So I hope her life will improve, and her family needs to go straight to jail. Straight to jail. Just go away. Just awful. Awful people. Unsafe living conditions including trash, soiled clothing, rotting food, rat droppings, and a heavy odor of urine. Little girl knew she did not want to be there. Did not want to be there. Yeah. They are slobs. Hopefully she's all good now and she's going to be, her life will improve a little bit, hopefully. Okay, I want to take you to an update to a story we were talking about yesterday, which was the school stabbing in North Carolina. They have named that child now that was stabbed at the school and died yesterday. So I'll play a little update here.
So tonight we are hearing from one of Cameron's former teachers after he found out the 16-year-old was the victim Tuesday. WXI 12's Bethany Cates sat down with him and is in our newsroom tonight with his story. Bethany, what did he tell you?
Jeffrey Saunders is a teacher at Main Street Academy, which is an alternative school. And he says he viewed Cameron as a son and says we are living in a time where school days are no longer typical or routine because anything could happen.
I'm getting all these calls and video feeds of what's going on, and I had to stop what I was doing to take it all in.
Jeffrey Saunders says after hearing about the news of his former student, he was shaken to his core.
They said, we need to talk to you. We need to talk to you. Okay, so I pulled off to the side and I look at the messages, and I go, no way.
Saunders says his role as a teacher exceeds far beyond the end of the school day to make sure his students achieve success.
Sometimes he'll stay in my classroom. But if he need to be in another classroom, can he come down to your class, Mr. Saunders, and do his work? I say, send him down.
He says as a community, as a school district, things have to improve.
This shouldn't have happened. You know, we spend money on metal detectors, but I don't know.
Saunders says if he was in the hallway during Tuesday's deadly fight, he would have talked to Cameron just as he did any other time.
You know, that video is awful. I saw today that the kid who died was raised by his grandparents and was a pretty decent kid, although had struggled in life, you know, not having his mom and dad around a lot. And for him to die at 16 is just, what a waste of life, you know. All those years that the grandparents put in to try and get him there, it's just, no one knows who did it. The person who did it is on camera. So I don't know how no one knows who did it. Rachel said, I hope those kids got all they need. Yeah, I hope so too. This is just a terrible story. Hold on, let me go here. I'm pretty sure. Did they arrest someone? I thought there was an update. Hold on. Yeah, I'm just trying to find if they did find the other kid. Hmm. Yeah, questions remain after the school violence. Let's have a look. They're saying here, according to the local PD, I can tell you that FCSO, with the assistance of WSPD, is diligently gathering evidence and interviewing witnesses, and then we will all sit down and see what the investigation reveals. We are reminded that when tragedy strikes our community like it did yesterday, there is incredible value in having professional and well-trained law enforcement agencies like the ones we have in Forsyth County to investigate and pursue justice for all involved. There's video of it. There's video. Like, how much more do you have to see? There's like video of the kid getting actually attacked and stabbed. Like, I'm sure you can find the person in the video, right? That's, you know. Yeah, this is a still frame from it, if I can put it up. It's not a very good copy. But that was like, there's a better copy on social media, but you can see the two kids in that bathroom fighting, and then one produces a knife. It seems odd to me that they're just like very blasé. Oh, yes, at the end of the investigation, we'll all sit down and have a cup of tea, have a biscuit, maybe. Then we'll talk about who we want to be going after for justice. I find that such a weird way of doing this. Just go get the person in the video. That's it. It's I don't understand this sort of angle of just being like, sure, kids get stabbed at school all the time. No worries. Here's another photo. These are the two that were fighting in the bathroom. Then the other kid dies and gets stabbed. This person in the brown is the one that has a knife. Someone must know who the person in the brown pants and jacket are with the white headphones. Someone must know who that is. Why they are not under arrest and charged with murder? And they're all like, yes, at the end of the investigation, we'll look into it. What? You had a kid die on campus in a violent death, and you're all like, yeah, we'll deal with it. Stop hassling us. We'll be fine. Seems very odd to ping. And that kind of like mentality. All right. Let's have a look what else I've got. We've probably got one more out of Florida to talk about. I've not been following this trial, but I know a bunch of my friends who do trial coverage during the day in America have been. And I think it's everyone's greatest fear. I think it's everyone's greatest fear. And it is pretty awful. But first, I want to talk to you about something else. Sometimes true crime attracts not the greatest people in the world. They attract people who do crime. There is a true crime producer in SoCal who is a fugitive tonight, charged or being looking to be charged for bank fraud and aggravated identity theft. Her name is Mary Carol McDonald. She's a true crime producer, and the FBI is looking for her, being added to the FBI's 10 most wanted list. Apparently, she stole $30 million from a bank. So she's done her own true crime podcast with her as the star of it.
Now at 5:30, a former true crime producer right here in SoCal is now starring in her own drama as a fugitive on the FBI's most wanted list. Good evening. This is the KTLA 5 News at 5.
Ullman.
The FBI is on the trail of a 73-year-old woman accused as posing as a wealthy heiress to pull off a Hollywood-style con.
KTLA's Rachel Menitoff is here in studio. Says Mary Carol McConnell pulled off the scam. Rachel.
Micah Share, between 2017 and 2018, this woman allegedly devised schemes to get money, funds, assets, and property owned by Bank of California and other financial institutions. She also owned a media company and defrauded her employees out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. 23-year-old woman Mary Carol McDonnell is on the run, hiding out in the Middle East, accused of conning people across the Southland and banks across LA and Orange County to the tune of nearly $30 million. This, according to the FBI Los Angeles Bureau.
She gave the appearance that she was a very independently wealthy woman. She was always impeccably dressed, and always had the air that she knew that she was doing and that she was better than you.
The Michigan native apparently posed as an heir to the McDonnell family and claimed to have a secret trust fund worth $80 million that she would eventually be able to access. At one point, the alleged fraudster worked as CEO of now defunct Burbank-based production company Bellum Entertainment, which produced shows like I Married a Murderer. Joshua Kaufman worked there as a producer and writer and has a judgment against the former CEO.
There's a whole network of people who worked for this woman that are owed millions of dollars. And we are also the ones suffering.
The company came under fire for failing to pay employees, and there were whispers that it was in trouble.
You know, we all kind of thought something strange was going on, and then all of a sudden one day she was just gone.
Retired FBI Special Agent Bobby Chacon was a regular commentator on McDonnell's true crime shows. He says initially he was paid well, but when she suddenly left the country, he was out $36,000. Talk about the psychological profile of a person like Mary McDonnell.
They're very complex characters, and they're not dumb, and they carry these things out. They build this house of cards, and ultimately, you know, it comes crashing down, and they try not to be around when that happens.
McDonnell is said to have run off to London and now is believed to be in Dubai. The FBI does have offices in Dubai. Chacon says this may be an attempt to reach people there who know her and may be able to point out where she is. Cher, back to you.
There you go. True crime. There you go. You all know Chacon as well. I'm sure you've seen him on YouTube and on true crime documentaries before. On the run, $30 million, and she's 73 years old. She's gone off to Dubai, maybe to say bye-bye, with her $30 million apparently. You know, it's funny, when these people get found out, there's always a secret trust fund, or it almost sounds like those emails you get from the people in Nigeria, where they're like, hello, sir. I am an army and I have stolen money from a country and I need to transport it outside of Europe. I have 93 billion euro and I will give it some to you if you will help me. All I need is all of your money. Please send your entire bank account to my lawyer below. It's almost like the same thing, right? It's almost like the exact same thing. She's just the American version of a Nigerian scammer. Same deal. And now she's run off to Dubai. I reckon she's run off to, like, what is she going to do in Dubai? Kathy said she can try the new Dubai chocolate that's trending. I've seen that at the shops, but it's so expensive. I saw a block of it at the at one of the shops I go to, and they wanted like $25 per chocolate bar. And I was like, I'm not buying that for 25 bucks. I don't care. Somalian is the new Prada. They're now in Somalia. Yeah, I get those emails all the time. They're always like, I have 93 billion euro. And I'm like, where did you get 95 billion euro from? I find that strange. I'm like, does anyone know you have this money? Are you on some sort of like top 10 worldwide richest people? Do you have like something in Time magazine? I'm like, why are you emailing me? I get one of them at least once a year. Sean said Somalians ripped off the US taxpayers. Okay, I'm sure there's a lot of that. Snapcrackle says she has enough money to run for a while until they start shutting down all of her accounts. I'm sure 30 million bucks is pretty hard to get through airport security unless you can get it into crypto money or Bitcoin or something, then you've got a problem because they'll just shut down all of her bank accounts and then, yeah, she'll be trapped. So we'll see what happens with this podcast producer. Hey, Spicy. I did see the one that's done by 50 Cent. I saw that one. I haven't watched it yet. I know it comes out soon. Yeah, I probably will watch it. Why? What would you like me to do about it? Snap Crackle says she has a stash somewhere. She probably does, right? Yeah. What day does that come out? Documentary 50 Cent. What day does it come out? Or is it already out? It could already be out. It's called The Reckoning, right? Yeah. I've seen it. I know it's done by 50 Cent. Oh, the first episode came out on December 2nd. I haven't watched it as of yet, but I can sit down and watch it if you want me to do a breakdown on it or something. I could do that. Yeah, it was 25 bucks. 25 bucks. Yeah, I can have a look. I can have a look at the documentary and tell you what I think about it. By the way, I want to thank Sean for the donation to the PayPal. It's very kind of you, my friend. Very kind of you. Yeah, it's very kind. All right. Is that the last one for tonight? No, we got one more. We got one more. Where is it? We've got too many tabs open. One out of Florida. We want to go to Florida. Nope, that's not Florida. Yeah. So there's a trial taking place in Flagler County. And I think it's like what I was saying before, it's everyone's worst nightmare. And you'll hear why.
The paramedic accused of sexually assaulting a woman in an ambulance took the stand today. Fox 35's Marie Ettinger was in the courtroom all day long. She joins us live right now. So, Marie, both sides just rested their cases.
Yeah, and the man who was on trial wound up taking the stand in his own defense for this sexual battery. James Mulady claims that he was just doing a medical exam and trying to protect his patient. But the state of Florida says there is absolutely no medical reason to do what he did. And they're saying his explanation is false. The real explanation, they claim, is simply perverse. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley has called James Mulady a predator and a pervert. State prosecutors call him a sexual batterer. All Mulady wants to know is whether a jury will call him guilty or innocent.
Missed something significant because I thought one thing and it happened to be something else, then I would be a really bad paramedic.
Mulady claims he was doing a thorough exam when he filmed himself touching an unconscious female in the back of an ambulance in 2021. And he says he filmed it because he didn't have a second paramedic with him. So he wanted documentation of the exam to protect himself.
You actually moved the camera to get a better view of her breast. Remember that?
So I was not aware of what the camera specifically was picking up because I was paying attention to my patient.
A physician testified the victim was brought to the ICU unresponsive with a blood alcohol level of 0.537.
One of the highest I've ever seen.
Dr. Terrell Swanson testified there was no medical reason for Mulady to touch the patient's genitals.
As he's examining her, she's about that far from death, right?
Correct.
And he should do everything in his power to try to figure out why she's that close to death.
which would include securing the airway first.
In court today, prosecutors played audio of Milady talking with investigators before his arrest, admitting to the crime. He claims he was on Ambien during that interview and that what he said wasn't true. While investigating this case, detectives found other allegations against Milady. His ex-wife contacted law enforcement, alleging he installed a hidden camera in her bedroom. While investigating that, detectives learned Milady had allegedly stolen credit and debit cards from 3 different patients who he transported in his ambulance, including a 92-year-old woman he's accused of stealing over $700 from. Flagler County Fire Rescue wound up changing some of their policies after Milady's arrest. For instance, now they have cameras in the back of ambulances, and they mandate that there must be 2 people tending to patients in the back of an ambulance, especially if they are considered vulnerable or if they're underage. Live in Flagler County, Marie Edinger, Fox.
What an absolute scumbag. And I feel like that poor woman who's in this footage that you can see right here. I mean, imagine if that's you and you come to find out that he has basically molested you in your greatest time of need. You would be distraught, male or female, I think. And when you let a paramedic touch you or take care of you, it's a it's a lot of trust boundaries being overcome to let someone do that, and then to shatter that sort of connection to the public that he's just done. The paramedics and people who work in ambulances, most of them do great work. They work hard, long hours, and they get not enough money for what they do. And then you have someone like this who comes along, and I feel so sad for the other paramedics and people who work in ambulances, because now they're going to have a lot of problems because of what this guy has done. And a lot of that trust, it has become eroded between the public and them when it shouldn't, because most of them, 99% of them, are good people. This is probably everyone's worst nightmare when you're unconscious, if you're in that time of need, when you're very unwell. To take that opportunity to molest someone is horrific. It really is. I hope he goes to jail, and I hope someone knocks him out and walks around rubbing his lady garden every day. Just parade him around the prison and do it and be like, this is what he did. This is what he did. Here's a demonstration. And just walk him around the prison every day. Just smack his head against the wall and be like, look, this is his offending. We're going to show you what not to do. That's what they should do, because even his ex-wife called in to the authorities and was like, the creep installed a camera in my bedroom when we were separated. That's what kind of guy he is. He just seems like, no wonder she broke up with him. No wonder. We'll see what happens at the end of that trial. I think they're going for a decision tomorrow. Let's see. Oh, he'll be sentenced. He found guilty. Good. Sentenced early next year. So he was found guilty. Thank the Lord. Sentenced early next year. That is really good news. Really good news. Hopefully he gets some jail time. He was acquitted, though, on the charge of video voyeurism. That's disappointing. But he was found guilty of the sexual battery. So that's the higher charge in that particular one. We'll see what kind of sentence he gets at sentencing or not. Apparently, he's now considered a sex offender. He's also been charged in Flagler County with fraud. He apparently with that stolen credit card thing where he stole credit cards from patients as well. Was not informed of the other charges that are pending. So he's got more legal trouble. He'll definitely be heading to jail. And hopefully we won't have to see Milady ever again. Hey, Four Sons. What are you talking about Istanbul? I think it was Turkey, actually. I know who you're talking about. You're talking about Khashoggi. Khashoggi, yeah. Yeah, I know the story you're talking about. Went into the embassy, and maybe it was Istanbul, and Turkey were bugging the embassy. But he went in there to get some document, and they ended up putting a bag over his head, injecting a sedative into his neck, and dismembering him on the floor of the embassy. Khashoggi's remains have never been located. They have never been able to locate even a single fragment of him. They don't know what happened to him after he was killed and dismembered in the embassy, unfortunately. But yeah, never located that guy. They flew in a kill team just to kill him. Hey Jen No Run, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. We're actually just finishing up, but it's nice to see you, Jen. Nice to see you, my friend. So yeah, if you don't know who Jamal Khashoggi was, you should watch the documentary and read the UN special investigator report on what happened to him. It's one of the most chilling stories of state-sanctioned murder that I think I've ever read. There's a sort of transcript of what goes on inside that room in the embassy, and apparently it's a hidden microphone. I think from the Turkish government, they hid a bug in the embassy, and that's the only reason they know what happened to Khashoggi. But yeah, you should read that transcript of what happened in that room. It is chilling. It really is, and it's awful. Yeah. So that is a crazy story. It's right there on your screen. Good to see you, Jen. Good to see you. Yeah, it's right there on your screen. Where is it? There's a documentary as well. Yeah, Kingdom of Silence. Kingdom of Silence on Showtime. That one's pretty good. Watch that one. Kingdom of Silence. Yeah, I'll put his name in chat. I'll put his name in chat for people. There you go. All right. It's been a long day. I've been in watching the Jody Hill trial since about 10 a.m. I have I also did the Gregory Lynn thing at like 9 a.m. And yeah, it's been a really long day. I will see you. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow the jury for the Jody Hill thing is that they will start their deliberations sometime in the morning. So there'll be no more court. That we'll have to wait until we get a verdict. As soon as we get a verdict, I can start of Jody Hill and Mr. Hunter. Mr. Hunter is the victim, and it's a story that you guys have to know about. No one is reporting on it. No one has been doing the journalism on it. So if they won't do it, I'll do it. Hey, by the way, thank you to my friend RX Girl for the super chat. I appreciate it. Very kind, and thanks to Sean for the PayPal. It's very kind. All right. Love you all. Good night, everyone. Bye.